Well, it's Saturday the 18th of May, and this is episode 2409 of 301 Permanently Moved to Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me at the JMO. Stop me if you've heard this story before. An old building, hundreds of years old, needs its roof beams replaced. The building's custodians panic, unsure of where trees of sufficient size and quality might be found, only to uncover some hitherto forgotten tale of foresight and planning. Stuart Brand recounts a version of this story, something like this. Oxford University in the 1800s discovered that its ancient dining hall needed new oak beams, and a junior fellow suggested they check the college's lands scattered around the country. The college forester was then asked if there might be any suitable oaks, and he replies, "Well, sirs, there was wondering when you'd be asking." As it turns out, when the dining hall was built, they planted a grove of oaks specifically to replace the dining hall beams. The plan passed down through generations of foresters for over 500 years with the instruction, you don't cut them oaks, them's for the college hall. Or remember the viral clout posts that appeared online after the Notre Dame fire about how the French supposedly planted a row of oaks at Versailles should the cathedral roof ever need repairing. The problem is, neither are true. The curious thing, I think, is that we want them to be true. We want to believe that those with power, both then and now, are capable of such acts of deep foresight. We latch onto them because it's a far-sighted vision that feels rare in today's world, which is exactly why Brand tells it. However, in contrast to fake stories about oak beams and church fires, planning and planting trees for shipbuilding is actually real. Not as an act of long-term foresight, but instead a pragmatic, short-term decision taken to ensure future resources. If you want to build a ship from scratch, first you must plant a tree. Oaks planted during the reign of the Stuarts built the ships that fought the Battle of Trafalgar 200 years later. Vice Admiral Cuthbert Collingwood, Nelson's friend, knowing this, encouraged the landed gentry to plant oaks to secure the future of the navy. In Denmark, following the Battle of Copenhagen in 1807, the king ordered oak forests be planted to replace the lost ships. Of course, ship technology changed, but the trees matured nevertheless, and at the turn of the millennium, 90,000 oaks were ready for use. Long-term thinking, or rather the concept of long-termism, has recently come under suspicion, effective altruism under the spotlight after the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried. In fact, Alice Carey, writing in the Radical Philosophy Journal, recently called EA's long-termism a toxic ideology, concerned with safeguarding humanity's future in a manner that leaves current harmful socio-economic structures unexamined, which is fair enough. Yet culture still faces a critical problem, the seeming complete lack of ability to effectively plan and execute on, well, anything. Instead of focusing on long-term thinking, we should reframe what the short-term is. I would like to propose that everything that occurs between the decision to plant a tree and the full expression of its canopy height is short-term thinking. In regenerative agriculture, when farmers convert fields over to mixed-use agroforestry, they design for the full canopy height first. Other species will then get interplanted between the trees of the final overstory, which, let's assume, is oak, which is slow growing. So, in between oaks, you plant a shorter lifespan species like a nut tree, and between them, faster 30-year fruit trees, and below them, fruit bushes. Life cycles within life cycles, which is a nuanced relationship to time that far outstrips our current culture of quarterly reports and yearly planning by a long, long way. Landscape restoration also deals in systems that unfold over centuries. Experts warn us of the 1,000-year mistake. Archaeology can still identify 1,000-year-old ditches in subsoil, for example. The digging of swales or the building of ponds permanently impacts the landscape's hydrology, so it matters where you put them. Other mistakes can also occur across shorter timescales. Consider the needs of a natural windbreak. To be most effective, they need a 45-degree angle ramp on the windward side. So you plant bushes, then small trees, then larger trees to get the angle right. Now imagine it's planting day. There's a pile of unlabeled whips of the largest tree on the ground. Then someone carrying another bundle of sticks of the shorter variety drops them on top of the existing pile, mixing and confusing them. But the planting must still happen. The consequences of that split second of inattention may echo in the landscape for a century. We have no idea what 2124 is going to be like. We also know that we can't fix everything today. But we do know when an oak planted today will reach its full height tomorrow. Short-term pragmatic actions taken today are gifts to the future, for people we will never meet and never know. In this new short term, we must create frameworks for the future that others can build upon. I call these gestures keystones of continuity. Because you can't move a tree once planted, only cut it down.